Hey guys, it's Coco Tarot back again with another message. We're just going to get right into it and see what you guys need to know right now. I hope everyone is doing well. So, messages for the collective. What does the collective need to know right now? What are they going through? What are they facing? Thank you so much. Three cards for the collective. 3 cards. Thank you so much. Got the 7 of Cups. Clarify the 7 of Cups for the collective. The King of Swords. Clarify the 7 of Cups and the King of Swords in reverse for the collective. Thank you. And the Devil in the struggle position. Okay. Someone here could be obsessed with some kind of communication or obsessed with not knowing how to communicate properly about something. I feel as if there's all these different routes to go, like the Cups here and the 7 of Cups. There's so many different ways to say one thing, and someone's struggling to find the right way to say that. The Devil card is here because it's obsessive. Someone is obsessively thinking about giving someone a piece of their mind. Whoever you are, you could be really... It's almost as if someone planted a seed inside of you. It could be a seed of rage or sadness or something that really struck a chord with you, and you are desperately wanting to communicate how it made you feel. For a few of you guys, this could be a love, so a lover saying something that bothered you and you not being able to respond or how to communicate how to respond. It's someone is struggling to communicate an obsession or becoming obsessed about that communication. This could have to be at work. Someone could have said something at work that bothered someone. It's the energy of almost a bully or someone saying something to you to get under your skin, or even if they didn't mean to, it got under your skin, collective. It's personal. This is personal, whatever this is. Clarify this Devil energy for me. What does the collective need to know about this Devil energy? For some of you guys, there's someone desperate to communicate to you. But whatever this is, whoever it is that wants to communicate, if this is you, collective, you have decided that this is what you're going to move forward on. Regardless of if you know what to say, if you know how you're going to say it, you are going to say it. This could be something that you have to say in order to move on. Something you have to communicate in order to move on. But the King of Swords in reverse, it's kind of nasty. It's built up with so much emotion that when you do say it, it might not sound the nicest or it might not be the most eloquent, but it's going to be something that's really how you feel. It reminds me of the only fight I've ever been in my life. I fought a school bully in middle school, and she wasn't the type of bully where it was physical or anything like that. It was like these sly digs or slight remarks with racial undertones to them, because this was back in the day before, people were more aware of things. So she wasn't racist. I wouldn't say that. It was more of a lack of ignorance. We were kids, She just didn't know. Maybe she hadn't been exposed to people of minorities. It was a majority Caucasian school, you know what I mean? But anyway, she would say these sly things, or I was on the dance team and the cheerleading team with her, as well as in the same grade, so I was around her a lot. And it got to a point where I never defended myself, so it built up like this ball inside of me where every time I saw her, I felt so angry because of these remarks or the things that she would say. So one day, she had said something to me. I can't even remember what it is, to be honest. But whatever it was like the straw that broke the camel's back for me, guys. And all day at school, I just festered on it and festered on it. And I had decided that I was going to confront her after school when she was going to go to soccer practice. So I had waited all day for this. I followed her into the bathroom during soccer practice. This was in like 7th or 8th grade. And I told her before she went in to get changed, I said, "What you said to me really hurt my feelings. And you can apologize or I'm going to beat you up." I literally said that. And I was not I'm not a confrontational person. So this was like, I was literally shaking while I was saying this to her. And all the girls in the bathroom, they knew that something was about to go down. They were all looking, you know what I mean? And basically, she just kind of laughed in my face and laughed it off and said, I don't need to apologize to you for anything, you know, and went in the stall and got changed. And I remember in that moment waiting for her to come out of the bathroom, like knowing that I was going to literally pounce on her. You know what I mean? And it sounds crazy because violence is never the answer, guys, but I was young. I had, like, these cards say you just fester up with this, someone planting this seed, or keep saying sly remarks. So anyway, the next thing I remember, she came out of the stall and I just jumped on top of her. And I remember just hitting her, and I kept saying, you can't just say whatever you want. You can't just say whatever you want. And finally, the girls in the bathroom pulled me off of her. And I ran and ran and ran to, like, the back of the school and hid. Because I was a kid. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get arrested. Someone's going to, you know what I mean, take me to jail. I was like one of the 10 minority kids at the school, you know what I mean? So I called my mom at the back of the school hiding, and I was like, Mom, you have to pick me up right now. I was crying my eyes out. I was like, I just beat up, you know, my bully. She knew who it was. And what's funny is my mom started crying on the phone. She's like, I'm so proud of you. I can't believe you stood up to your bully. You know what I mean? But anyway, long story short, we both got suspended. She got suspended for verbal harassment. I got suspended for physical. But after that day, she never bullied me anymore, or she stopped saying those sly remarks. And, you know, this is all from my perspective, so I didn't know the girl very well. I don't know what she's going through, or, you know what I mean? But what was really funny was, after that moment, I had so many other kids come to me in secret saying, oh my gosh, thank you so much for doing that. She bullied me for a really long time too. Or she would say things to me too, you know? And it was this moment that was wrong for me to put my hands on her and to be violent. You know, it was the only fight I was ever in. But I was also very happy to have stood up for myself. So I say that story, and I was called to that story because I feel like you guys are in a situation like that, where you want to stand up for yourself, and maybe you're a really kind person and you know that you need to do this in order to move on. And it's obsessive for you because it strikes a chord. Maybe someone said something personal. Maybe they said something about, you know, your facial features or your race or something that you can't change. Not that you should change it if someone makes fun of it, but, you know, it's something that just makes you feel like you really want to tell someone off or tell them to leave you alone. And it's making me think of that as a child because that's how I felt. I was like, I couldn't move on from it. And, you know, I learned my lesson. I understand, you know, violence is not the answer. And it's one of those things where if you defend yourself from the beginning, it won't boil up to a point. So this could be a message for some of you guys that don't let people just give you sly remarks or sly digs or say things to you that you're not comfortable with. Let them know the first time that that was the last time. Not with your hands or physical violence, you know, but it's okay to stand up for yourself. And most people, they keep doing the same thing, especially if it's negative, if you don't say something about it or if you don't, you know, make that boundary for yourself. Can we get some more for the collective, though? This is something that you need to say to move on. We get the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. But you also feel as if this is a crazy investment. Like I said, this could be a boss, this could be a lover, this could be a family member. It's definitely someone that intimidates you. It could be linked to your finances, so you could have a parent that helps you out with finances and they cross the boundary and you want to communicate that, but you're afraid, you know, well, what if they stop paying my cell phone bill, or what if they stop doing this? Not that money is, you know, the end all be all, but you want to be able to express yourself without it ruining anything. You want to be able to express yourself so that you can move on and no longer be confused and be obsessed with this thought, this feeling that someone has planted inside of you. And we do have to take accountability for how we are emotionally tied to situations or how people make us feel emotionally. You know, it's not always the other person. But at the same time, I feel as if whoever this resonates for, you're a very kind person, non-confrontational. You don't want to burn bridges where you don't have to. And you also see the good in people. But you don't want to bite the hand that feeds, or you don't want to put yourself in a position where even though you're defending yourself, it starts drama or you feel like it's drama. You know what I mean? There is this caution to just Be careful about how you say something. Wow. Ooh. I did not expect all of these to be coming out in reverse, you guys. But I feel like it's necessary because this is either a partnership that means a lot to you or someone you've been friends with for a long time, someone you have to run circles with, and you do not want to regret or say something that you regret. And especially with this Six of Wands here, this could start drama. This could have people talk about you. You know what I mean? This could have people saying, well, oh, did you hear what the collective said? Oh my gosh, did you know that they were so fired up? You would risk your reputation by saying something. And you know this. Whatever this is to you, collective, I feel as if you've become so obsessive about this that you can see every potential path, depending on what you say and what action you take, what this would lead to. And you feel as if it all will lead to you being badmouthed by other people. I don't want you to take offense to this, but some of you guys, you care about what people think, but not in a way where you do what others want you to do. You just care about your reputation. You care about how you come across to people. You could be someone who's very poised, or with the King of Swords energy here in reverse, you're someone who likes to make sure you think about what you say. Even when you go to McDonald's, you sit there and you memorize your order, you look at the menu beforehand, you like to know that what you're saying is going to fit in the right place or be in the right place or come off the right way. And it's good to be careful about the things you say, especially in this day and age where people will literally take everything you say out of context. And I think that's what you're afraid of, collective. You're afraid to be taken out of context because this is something that really does hurt you or really does bother you. But you're afraid that if you say it, people will take it the wrong way and you'll have to backtrack and have to fix something. With the Four of Wands in reverse too, some of you guys don't like to say how you feel because you don't want to perpetuate negative energy. So you don't want confrontations because you feel like, oh, that's negative, that's not being a good person, or that's not something that a nice person would do. But at the same time, it's almost like finding a balance here. There's this balance between watching what you say, but also saying how you feel. You know, oftentimes, especially in spaces of light or positivity, they say, you know, kill them with kindness, kill them with kindness. And that's very true. But sometimes you do have to vocalize how you feel, even if you think that it's going to make you look a certain way. Obviously, there's a way to articulate it where you can, you know, sound more polished and not sound so in your feelings or reactive about it. But at the same time, you'll never be able to move on from certain things if you don't communicate certain things. And you will always live in regret about the things that you don't say, not the things that you did. I mean, you might regret some things that you say, but at the end of the day, you're like, okay, whatever. But the things you don't say are going to trouble you more than the things that you have said. And I think even though you're so obsessed about your reputation or what people might think, God or the divine, they kind of want you to be honest with yourself and honest with the situation. And if something bothers you, say it. Don't wait until it festers because, you know, even normal people can get to a point, and I say normal loosely, but anyone can get to a point where things can boil over and they can just snap. And I'm not saying that's where you are, but you don't ever want to be that way. You know, there's people that believe you get cancers from holding on to too much or not being able to express how you feel. You have to express it. Even if you don't know how, sometimes God will guide you. Okay, the universe will help you articulate it in a way, and if people take it a certain way or want to say that one time you said thing is a reflection of your entire character, I don't think those are the people that you want in your life anyway. I don't think those are the partnerships that are going to serve you anyway. Don't let these obsessive thoughts get to you. Find a way to articulate yourself from the beginning so it doesn't fester into this, you know, volcano. Can we get some more for the collective? Thank you so much. They're all coming out in reverse, guys. I really want you, whoever this is, you have to talk about this, even if it's not with the person that is directly to, but there is this feeling that you have to communicate this. There's a lot of anxiety here, a lot going on. That's why we start with the Seven of Cups. You are confusing yourself, or not even confusing yourself. You're all over the place trying to think about how this can ruin your life instead of thinking about how communicating how you feel could better your life. The Six of Swords here is the most positive, striking card out here because you need to do this to move on. You need to communicate this to move on. This could even be to an ex-lover being like, no, you really hurt me. You really embarrassed me, and I don't want anything to do with you anymore. Instead of just soft ghosting or not saying anything, because then you never say your piece. You need to say your piece. For some of you guys, this is someone that isn't even in your life anymore, but you still think about what they said to you or the exchanges you guys have years after, and it's festering. You're crying about this, collective. You still cry about this. You still replay it. And some of you guys, maybe you've even prayed like, God, please rid me of these thoughts. But if God is replaying it to you, it's because he knows that there's something you have to release about the situation. You have to find the strength to release this burden, you guys. You have to. Okay? Even if you go to therapy, if you write a letter that you're never going to send, you know what I mean? Write an email to yourself that you have to release this. And by release it, I don't mean the like spiritual, meditate, whatever, release it. I mean, you need to verbalize your emotions or they will fester. And I'm seeing like a tumor. I'm not saying you're going to get a tumor, but it's like this sickness inside of you because you've never communicated it. Sorry. This could even be you falling in love with someone years ago. And maybe you never told them you love them. Maybe you were too shy or you didn't want things to go awry and then they did anyway. And you never got to tell that person you love them. This could even be that. There's something here that isn't being expressed that you, the seeker, need to find the strength to express. Otherwise, it'll be a burden that you'll regret never walking away from. And certain things, they can hold you back from moving on. If you still are wondering about never telling someone you love them, and then you get into a new relationship, what happens then? Those feelings won't just go away because you're with someone new. You have to find a way to verbalize your emotions, collective. Even if it gives you the icks, it makes you feel super uncomfortable, it'll be a release for you. We're going to get into another deck. This is very interesting. I feel closer to you guys telling you about my first and only fight, my first and last fight, physical fight. I wonder if she ever knew that I did tarot, if she would be like, oh my God, this bitch, she's in the spiritual community and she beat me up in middle school. But, like I said, that was from my perspective. We never know what other people feel or what they're going through. Or also, some people don't even know that they're hurting your feelings. We all sometimes can project our own worlds onto other people, but most people are really in their own world to be noticing what's going on inside of us. Even though we could feel transparent, like people, you can see what I'm feeling. A lot of people can't. You know what I mean? So just make sure you're communicating how you feel so you don't have regrets, collective. Clarify this? Yeah, the Princess of Pentacles, which is the Page of Pentacles. Clarify the Page of Pentacles. This is an idea that you've had for a really long time, a choice that you wanted to make for a really long time. This could be about a betrayal or someone who betrayed you, someone, from your past who left this burden on you. But you've kind of let the burden stay or stick around or have replayed it. This could be something, some of you guys could have OCD, and this could be a real event OCD. If you don't know what that is, it is being obsessive about certain events in your life. So old events that just keep replaying and replaying, and it's almost like torture. It's like a spell. It's like, why can't I get over this thing? It's because there's something that you need to verbalize about it. Possibly over a drink with someone. We got the King of Swords again, too, but this time upright. And the strength. Have the strength Wow. Wow. Okay. The Sun, the King of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, the Strength, the King of Swords. It's okay for things to get a little messy sometimes. And by messy, I don't want you guys to ever think I'm not endorsing violence. That's not what I mean. But sometimes if you saying something is going to stir up a little drama, it's not, and your intention isn't to do that, then that's not really your fault. Do you understand what I mean? Because you're saying how you feel. If people want to talk about you saying a certain thing or I'm hearing, don't worry about any of that. Worry about what you need to release and how you can do it in the healthiest way possible for you and all parties involved. If your intentions are in the right place, and I know sometimes people can think they're doing the right thing, but they're not, but I feel like you really want to make sure that you're not hurting people. But by doing that, you're hurting yourself. And I'm not saying to intentionally go out and hurt people, but sometimes we do have to be selfish, okay? Sometimes you have to be selfish. And by being selfish, that means saying how you feel, or you know what I mean, or being honest with how you feel. Even if you think it's going to hurt others, the King of Wands, he don't care what anybody thinks about what he says. Especially with the King of Swords energy here, you should really be less cautious about your communication. And that sounds a little, I feel like whoever you are, maybe you're a little bit of a control freak. And I mean that in a loving way. I totally get you. You could be a little bit like, no, if I say it that way, it won't come out the right. There's something about relinquishing that and just saying how you feel. And if someone gets hurt, you can apologize and say, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. You know what I mean? This is just how I feel, and that's how I articulated it, and I don't know if that was the best way to do it. And that doesn't mean yell at people, or you guys know what I mean. Whoever this resonates for, you just need to communicate how you feel. And for some of you guys, it's something from years ago. You could be embarrassed about something that you said years ago, and you're holding on to this, but you go ask someone who is there, and they're going to be like, I don't even remember that happening. Meanwhile, you've thought about it for 3 years, and it's been the bane of your existence, the most embarrassing thing in the world. I think with the Sun card here, you'd be very shocked how things might turn out if you just say how you feel. And there could be some people in your life who this makes you closer with them, because maybe some people feel as if you do have a barrier up, or that you do hide how you feel sometimes, and this could be a way that people could see a new side of you. You're a lot stronger than you think, collective, and you need to find that inner strength in order to communicate how you feel, you know? We're going to get into another deck for some ending messages here. It's another tarot deck, but we're just going to get one card to summarize this whole reading. One card for the collective, one card to summarize this reading, to end this reading. One card to leave them with. Thank you so much. One card. The Tower. Oh, wow. Some of you guys are trying to avoid this Tower by communicating how you feel, but what you don't realize is this Tower would be so beneficial for you. Because you see how this fire is coming out? It's kind of like blowing the lid off this pot. You know, the rice needs to breathe. You're boiling over it. Take that pot out or that pot lid off, and you notice the bubbles just go right down when you make the rice. You know what I mean? You're boiling over, and there's this need to... I'm seeing those pots that have the little steam hole in them where it's like tss, with all the steam coming out. There's a need to release some steam. You've held on to this for a long time, and you might feel like it'd be the end of the world to communicate this, but this is actually the beginning of your world, because it's allowing you to realize or understand how to defend yourself, or how to even speak how you feel. For some of you guys, you could have grown up in a home where maybe you weren't allowed to cry, or you weren't allowed to communicate your feelings without it seeming disrespectful to your parents, so you kind of learned to hold things to yourself. And now the divine and God, they want you to work on this and learn how to be more transparent with people in your life, because it'll make your relationships feel closer as well. You know, being vulnerable, for some people, it's not a nice feeling. You know, it feels kind of like the icks, and there's this opportunity for you to be more vulnerable so you don't create a sickness inside of yourself. Can we get one card for the collective to end this reading? Thank you so much. Happiness. Yeah, releasing things so that you can be happy. Let this tower fall, you know? And then there's humor at the bottom of the deck. This could be something you look back and laugh at. Like, why did I hold on to that for so long? Why, was I letting a few words hold me back from feeling happy? I'm aware that being happy means that I'm on the right path. I feel the need to say, don't be afraid of tower moments. They're usually put in our lives so that we can become stronger, mentally, physically, spiritually. There's not a challenge that you can't face. And what's cool about this challenge is this is a challenge of the self. This is conquering that inner devil that's telling you, no, don't say that. You can't say that. They're going to think you're a bitch. You know what I mean? It's like, let them think you're a bitch. It's your happiness at the end of the day. Okay? I can't even talk right now. Why is saying at the end of the day so hard? It's your job to make sure that you are happy. Okay? Clarify this. The tower and happiness feels amazing though, guys. And I'm really proud of you for even, considering communicating your feelings because it's hard. We got the trumpet, power and healing. To get what you love, you first have to be patient with what you have, unknown. So, as we said earlier, in order for you guys to move on, you have to work with what you have. And you have to work through what you have or what is feeling like it's holding you back. Why can't I talk? Some of you guys really, this is going to be hard for you to talk about. And I would encourage you maybe to talk to a therapist or someone who you can get your emotions out in the open before you communicate with this person. Sometimes I find that we'll go over things in our head so much, and then when we say it out loud, it's either less of a big deal or there's things that we miss out on because our mind can play situations without words. It's like words and images and sounds, and you know what I mean? So when you verbalize that, it kind of puts it into perspective. So maybe bouncing the idea of what you want to say with someone that you trust or a therapist could help you out here a lot because it can allow you to see, like, is it really as serious as my mind is making it? Because the devil loves to do that. He loves to blow things out of freaking proportion, especially when we internalize stuff. This is what this is. You've internalized some things that you have to release. It's time for that tower moment, baby. We get one card for the collective to clarify this message. Thank you so much. Time to move on. It's time to let go of the old and worn out so that the new can come in. For some of you guys, this could even stem from childhood. Maybe some of you guys never stood up to your bully, and that's something that you regret. You wish that you could have stood up to someone that really hurt you or made you feel embarrassed, or maybe you guys even had bullies that physically hurt you, that you never stood up for yourself. There's this need for you to step away from the coping mechanisms and step into what's going to help you move on from the situation. Even if we feel like the victim in certain situations, we can stay in that victim mentality and it could be something that holds us back. And the collective, you're not a victim, okay? You are a beautiful human being having an experience, and some of them are shit, okay? Some of them are shit. But every opportunity in life is an opportunity to grow. And I feel the need to say that you conquering this feeling of maybe mousiness or being shy about expressing yourself, it's going to make you feel so much better. And like you have more wiggle room if you find a way to love yourself enough to defend yourself when you have to, okay? Confrontations aren't fun for anyone. You know what I mean? And fear is always going to be there, but you just have to work past the fear. We're going to tap into your sexual energy. I know some of you guys are shy. I can feel that from this reading. You could be really shy. We're going to tap into it. Can we get one card for the collective sexual energy? One card. We have the Ten of Pentacles. This is a beautiful card. She's like butt naked, opening her robe, covered in fruit. It's giving Empress. She's got like an apple on her butt. What is going on here? It's, you know, what I'm feeling, collective? And this could definitely be in your sexual energy, but it's like exposing yourself a little is actually going to be like so sexy. When I think of sexy, I think of naturalness and nature, and it's like, by you opening yourself up, even in ways that aren't in the bedroom, that are outside of the bedroom, you would be very surprised how this revs you up in your sexual life. By exposing your inner thoughts, exposing your inner emotions in a healthy way, it's going to be very freeing for you. It's the feeling of not being afraid to be naked in front of someone. You're just like, here it is, baby. All the scars and all, you know, and this guy, he's sitting here like, holy crap, she's got grapes coming out of her boobs. Like, you know what I mean? It's so inviting. You showing the messy side of yourself can be very inviting for some people because it makes you human. If you notice, most people aren't really attracted to perfection. They're attracted to the little imperfections that seem to make up perfection. Do you understand what I mean? And it's like you exposing this side of yourself that other people don't get to see is going to make you really sexy. I don't know how else to say that. It's going to give off this real sexy vibe. Like, oh my gosh, like she's so real or he's so real. I don't know, guys. We're going to get one more card to clarify this energy. One card to end this reading. Yes. Yes. Okay? Find a way to healthily remove yourself from coping mechanisms and walk straight into communicating with people, communicating what you really feel. Even in this card, she's shedding all these dark waves and coming out of the ocean. It's time to expose how you really feel. Talk about how you really feel, especially in this day and age where everybody's afraid to speak and, you know what I mean, all that stuff. Throw all that stuff out of the window. Your beauty is in your truth. And the divine God, they want you to not only live in your truth, but to communicate your truth. And that is your reading for today, guys, and I'll be back soon with another message. Toodaloo.